So we'll start with units and measurement as we discussed in the last class, that mathematics portion we had covered in the last class. So units and measurement is something which we are going to cover today in today's class. So this is the first chapter, and so error analysis, units, dimensions, measurements, these are all what we are going to cover. So this is more of a theoretical kind of chapter, but obviously in NEET we get few numericals also from that, especially from error analysis and dimensional formulas, and at times we get numericals from significant figures and these things. So we'll cover these portions in today's class. So physics is a branch of science which deals with the study of nature and natural phenomena. We know that anything which is in and around us, and study of that surroundings, and why that particular thing is happening. Let's say why a fruit, when it breaks down from the tree, why it falls down, or any other natural phenomena. So when you start thinking about why such thing is happening, so there physics come to rescue basically. तो आसपास के सराउंडिंग को नेचर और नेचुरल फिनोमिना, नेचर आसपास का जो है उसमें जो नेचुरल फिनोमिना हो रहा है, कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट मूव क्यों कर रहा है, कोई रुक क्यों रहा है, कोई ऑब्जेक्ट पे फोर्स लगाते हैं तो वो उसकी थोड़ी देर बाद रुक क्यों जाता है, किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को अगर तोड़ते हैं, ऊपर से गिराते हैं तो नीचे क्यों गिरता है, ये सारी चीजें जो है ये नेचुरल फिनोमिना हो गए। इन सब के बारे में जो हम पढ़ते हैं वो फिजिक्स है बेसिकली। So fundamental forces in nature. So there are 4 fundamental forces in nature. 4 तरीके के fundamental forces हैं. First is gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear forces, and weak nuclear forces. So these are the 4 basic forces which exist in nature. So gravitational force हमें पता ही है कि what is gravitational force? A force by which one object attracts another object. So two objects which have some mass, they attract each other with a force which is known as gravitational force. Similarly, when you have two charges, two objects which has charges on it, so if the charges are of same polarity, you will have repulsive force, and if the charges are of opposite polarity, you have an attractive force. So strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force, these are forces which exist inside an atom. तो ये 4 तरीके के फंडामेंटल फोर्सेस। ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स हम लोगों को पता ही है कि F इज इक्वल टू G(m1m2) by r² होता है, एंड दिस इज ऑलवेज अट्रैक्टिव इन नेचर। ओके, सो इसमें हमेशा अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स होता है ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स। नाउ इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फोर्स इज यस सतप्रीत बताइए। सतप्रीत कुछ पूछना है आपको? ओके, सो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फोर्स जो है, जैसे इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स है वो हमें पता है कूलम्स फोर्स होता है 2 चार्ज के बीच में। सो इफ यू हैव 2 चार्जेस, जैसे यहाँ पे ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स है, यहाँ पे 2 मासेस है, इसका मास m1 है, इसका मास m2 है, और ये दोनों अगर r डिफरेंट डिस्टेंस से सेपरेटेड है तो जो ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स है वो हमेशा अट्रैक्टिव होता है नेचर में, इट इज ऑलवेज अट्रैक्टिव। सो F इज इक्वल टू G(m1m2) by r², ये हमारा ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स। So this is the gravitational force, right? Now Coulomb's force, let's say you have 2 charges Q1 and Q2 and they are separated by R, then we say that this force of, if they are of same polarity, means both are positive or both are negative, then we have an repulsive force. And when the polarity is opposite, that means if one is positive and other is negative, then in that case you have an attractive force. F is equal to K times Q1 Q2 upon R square. The value of K constant is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. So this is the force of, this is electrostatic force, which is also known as Coulomb's force. Is it clear? The weak nuclear forces are the weakest forces. Okay, gravitational force is also weak, but it depends on the masses basically. So if masses are small, let's say in day-to-day life, if I talk about gravitational force between a calculator and then this remote, then you will find a very weak attractive force. But when heavenly bodies are considered, in that case the mass is very high, then it is not weak. It is the force is quite huge because of the huge mass. Okay. Then we have strong nuclear forces. The forces that binds the neutron and proton together in a nucleus are called strong nuclear forces. So inside a nucleus, protons and neutrons, protons and neutrons are held together, and these are held together by these strong nuclear forces. And then weak nuclear forces that appear only between elementary particles of short lifetime involved in nuclear process such as beta decay of a nucleus. So elementary particles means in among these protons, neutrons, but that is only for a short time, involved with those elements which exist for short time. For example, when you have a nucleus, it disintegrates and there is a beta decay happening and alpha decay happening. So basically ये जो हम लोग beta decay और gamma decay ये सब करते हैं, तो ये we will see in जो हम लोग रेडियो एक्टिविटी वाला चैप्टर करेंगे, उसमें ये सब ज्यादा डिटेल में होगा. Okay. Now, all quantities in terms of which laws of physics can be expressed and which can be measured directly or indirectly are called physical quantities. So basically, see, all the laws inside in the nature, जो भी laws exist करते हैं nature में, वो सारे laws क्या हैं? ये जो laws हैं, ये सारे इनको define करने के लिए आपको physical quantities का help लेना होता है. जैसे if you have to define how fast an object is moving, so you have to define a physical quantity for that, like speed or velocity. Similarly, how fast the speed of an object is changing, rate of change of velocity, that is measured by acceleration. So every natural phenomena, it can be expressed, or laws of physics can be expressed using certain physical quantities. So certain quantities which are known as physical quantities. So to know and understand a physical situation completely, one is likely to measure quantities such as distance, speed, time, mass, acceleration, force, etc., which are called physical quantities. So to understand the physical situation, how fast an object is moving, in how much time that object is going to come to rest, and these things. So these are all physical situations which can be understood using certain quantities, and those quantities are called physical quantities. Process of measurement is basically a comparison process. तो measurement का process क्या है? Comparison process. कोई भी चीज को measure करना है, let's say हमें इस mobile case को measure करना है length को, तो हमारे पास अगर if we take a scale and then we keep it and then we measure the length of this, right? So वहाँ पे comparison करते हैं. Comparison किससे? Scale में there are certain markings on the scale, है ना, 1 सेंटीमीटर 2 सेंटीमीटर ये सब मार्क किया होता है स्केल में. अब हम उस स्केल को इसके पास लेकर आएंगे, in front of this, then we can compare कि what is the length according to the graduated scale. So ये कंपैरिजन प्रोसेस है. हम एक स्केल के यूनिट को कंपेयर करते हैं किसी भी सब्सटेंस को जिसको मेजर कर रहे हैं उसके लेंथ से, और डिसाइड करते हैं कि उसका लेंथ कितना हो। तो मेजरमेंट हमेशा कंपैरिजन प्रोसेस है. सो मेजरमेंट इज बेसिकली अ कंपैरिजन प्रोसेस. The chosen standard of the same kind taken as reference in order to measure a physical quantity is called the unit of that quantity. So the standard which is chosen by using which we compare, जैसे सेंटीमीटर स्केल में या फिर इंच है अगर स्केल में, उससे कंपेयर कर रहे हैं, तो एक स्टैंडर्ड हम डिफाइन करते हैं और उस स्टैंडर्ड से कंपेयर करते हैं. तो जो स्टैंडर्ड हम डिफाइन करते हैं उस स्टैंडर्ड को हम लोग यूनिट ऑफ दैट फिजिकल क्वांटिटी कहते हैं. The process of measurement of a physical quantity involves two things. First is selection of unit, and then to find out the number of times that unit is contained in the physical quantity. So first we define, so let's say we have to measure the length of this wooden block, and we have a scale which is given, right? And here we have graduations here, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3, 4, 5 centimeter. So what we will do, we will put the zero mark of the scale at this edge. We mark 5 centimeter, and then from zero we mark, let's say 4 centimeter total. We say that the length is 9 centimeter. So what we have done, we have selected a unit. Unit selection we have done कि 1 centimeter is the unit. Find out the number of times that unit is contained in the physical quantity. So number of times, how many, 1 unit, कितने units यहाँ पे हैं? 9 units हैं. तो 9 units हैं, तो यहाँ पे measurement कितना हो जाएगा? 9 centimeter हो जाएगा. So process of measurement is selection of unit, and then how many number of times the unit is contained in the physical quantity. Is this clear to everyone? Guys, from next class, please use microphone, because if you use microphone, it will be easier for me to communicate and understand whether you have understood or not. है ना? अगली क्लास से प्लीज माइक्रोफोन यूज करें. माइक्रोफोन यूज करने से आपसे लगातार बातचीत होते रहेगी और पता चलता रहेगा कि आपको समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है. क्लियर है बच्चों? The result of measurement of physical quantity is expressed by a number or numerical measures accompanied by a unit. तो जो भी result है किसी भी physical quantity के measurement का, that is expressed by a number, okay, accompanied by unit. मान लो हमने 6 centimeter हमारा measurement है या 10 second हमारा measurement है, तो एक number होता है और एक unit होता है always. So number tells you the magnitude and unit tells you the size of that value, 6 centimeter. So 1 centimeter has a fixed value, 6 centimeter. Excuse me. 6 centimeter tells you how many times this, this unit centimeter is contained in that physical quantity. So measure of a physical quantity is given as numerical value of a physical quantity and size of its unit. So numerical value here is 6 centimeter and the size of unit is centimeter. So as the number of physical quantities to be measured is very large, it is not feasible to define a separate unit for each quantity. So see, we cannot define separate unit for each quantity, right? It is not possible. So in that case, what we do, we have certain fundamental units, and then out of those fundamental units, we derive certain other units. So unit for the fundamental or base quantities are called fundamental or base units. So there are 7 fundamental units, and from that 7 fundamental units, we can derive infinite number of units. So fundamental units are those which can neither be derived from one another nor can they be further resolved into any other units. हमें पता है fundamental unit क्या होता है, जिसको हम किसी और से derive नहीं कर सकते हैं और जिसको जिस है ना, किसी और से डिराइव नहीं करते हैं और उसको फर्दर रिजॉल्व नहीं कर सकते, मतलब फर्दर ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते हैं उस यूनिट, राइट। जैसे लेंथ का मीटर एक यूनिट है, मीटर को हम किसी और से डिराइव नहीं कर सकते और मीटर को फर्दर ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते किसी और दो यूनिट्स में, ठीक है। सो the quantities such as mass, length and time are called fundamental physical quantities. Apart from these three, there are four more, right? We will see the list abhi in the next slide. So mass, length, time are examples of fundamental physical quantities and their units are called fundamental units. The unit of all such fundamental physical quantities which can be expressed in terms of fundamental unit of mass, length and time are called derived units. So those units which are expressed in terms of fundamental units, जिनको कि हम fundamental unit के को यूज करके हम लोग एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं, ऐसे यूनिट्स को हम डिराइव्ड यूनिट्स कहते हैं. दीज यूनिट्स आर कॉल्ड डिराइव्ड यूनिट्स. एग्जाम्पल, एरिया. एरिया क्या होता है? एरिया इज इक्वल टू लेंथ इनटू ब्रेथ. तो लेंथ का जो यूनिट है और ब्रेथ का जो यूनिट है, ये दोनों मेजरमेंट ऑफ लेंथ ही है, राइट. सो इन दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करके हम एरिया का यूनिट निकालते हैं, मतलब ये मीटर इंटू मीटर, मीटर स्क्वायर हो जाता है. उसी तरह वॉल्यूम जो है लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ इंटू हाइट है, तो दिस इज मीटर इंटू मीटर इंटू मीटर, मीटर क्यूब हो जाता है. स्पीड जो है लेंथ और टाइम से डिराइव करते हैं, तो लेंथ डिवाइडेड बाय टाइम इज स्पीड. तो ये सब डिराइव्ड यूनिट्स हैं जो कि इन फंडामेंटल यूनिट्स को यूज करके हम लोग डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. So complete set of these units, both the base units and the derived units, is known as system of units. So complete set of units which we use to define all the physical quantities, this together is known as, okay, this together is known as system of units. Okay. Now characteristics of a standard unit. So standard unit which we are using. So characteristics of a standard unit. So a unit selected for measuring a physical quantity must fulfill the following requirements. Okay. So there are certain characteristics which are there in the standard unit, which we and those standard units should fulfill these requirements. ये सारे requirements जो हैं इनको fulfill करना होगा. तो पहला first characteristic is it should be well defined. It should be well defined का मतलब कि the definition should be clear. It should not be ambiguous. मतलब कि अगर हमने मीटर बोला तो मीटर का definition clearly defined होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ ऐसा confusion हो उसमें. दूसरा, it should be of suitable size. मतलब it should neither be too small nor be too big. बहुत बड़ा भी नहीं होना चाहिए और बहुत छोटा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. मान लो हम यहाँ से केरला तक का डिस्टेंस सेंटीमीटर स्केल से मेजर करेंगे तो फिर मेरा तो जीवन चला जाएगा उसको मेजर करते करते, राइट. तो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू मेजर अ लार्ज डिस्टेंस यूजिंग स्मॉल यूनिट. सिमिलरली अगर हम लोग किलोमीटर का स्केल लेके और लेंथ ऑफ लेट्स से माय हेयर्स, इफ आई स्टार्ट मेजरिंग the length of my hair using a kilometer scale, that again is not possible. So it should neither be too small nor be too big. अब तीसरा है, it should be easily reproducible at all places, है ना. इसको आराम से हम लोग reproduce कर सकें हर जगह, है ना. मतलब कि अगर यूएस में कोई यूनिट डिफाइन हुआ है तो यहाँ पे आके हम उस यूनिट को दोबारा यहाँ पे बना सकते हैं, ठीक है. It should be easily reproducible. Okay. It should not change with time and from place to place. टाइम के साथ चेंज नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि यूनिट जनवरी में कुछ और मेजर करके बताए और दिसंबर में कुछ और मेजर करके बताने लगे. और प्लेस टू प्लेस मीन्स दिल्ली, आगरा, पुणे, बॉम्बे, एवरीवेयर, हर जगह पे इसका वैल्यू सेम होना चाहिए. It should not change with change in its physical conditions such as temperature, pressure, etc. So temperature change के साथ इसका value change नहीं होना चाहिए यूनिट का. उसी तरह pressure के change होने से भी value नहीं change होना चाहिए. It should be easily accessible. Easily accessible means even people in villages, they should also be able to access it properly, easily. So these are the characteristics of the standard unit. Well-defined, suitable size, reproducible at all places, should not change with time from place to place. It should not change with any physical condition, and it should be easily accessible. See, why we are doing theory also? Why? Because this year's paper of NEET had so many theory questions as well. So if you don't read these things and don't understand these things properly, it will be very difficult for you. है ना, बस न्यूमेरिकल करने से only numerical will not help you survive. So there will be always a mix of questions, numericals as well as these theoretical portions. So going through the theory also helps you attempt those questions with confidence. Okay. Now a body named General Conference on Weights and Measures. So क्या नाम है उसका? इसका जो इंटरनेशनल बॉडी जो है, जो हम लोगों को यूनिट्स डिफाइन करती हैं, is General Conference on Weights and Measures. So a body named General Conference on Weights and Measures was set up and given the authority to decide the units by international agreement. It holds its meeting, and any changes in standard units are communicated through the publication of the conference. Now, systems of units. So in earlier times, scientists of different countries were using different system of units. For example, CGS system, FPS system, MKS system. CGS system stands for centimeter, gram, second. FPS system stands for foot, pound, and second. MKS system stands for meter, kilogram, and second. So these are all different system of units which were used earlier. Okay. Now, concept of mass. What is mass? Mass of a body is defined as the quantity of matter in the body. So amount of matter which an object stores in it is measured by mass. What is length? Length of an object may be defined as the distance of separation between any 2 points at the extreme end of the object. So if we have an object, let's say we have this scale. So if we have to measure the length of this scale, so between two extreme ends, whatever length we measure, that is the length of that. Similarly, concept of time. In fact, time is measure of duration between the occurrences of two events. So between two events, let's say event ये हो सकता है कि I started running and took one round of my apartment and came back to the same position. So कितना time हुआ? So that is the concept of time. How much duration has passed between these two events, starting and stopping. Now there are three units as I was discussing. CGS system. CGS system was set up in France. कहाँ पे था ये? France में discover हुआ था. And it is based on centimeter, gram, and second. Okay. So fundamental units of length is centimeter, mass is grams, and time is second. It is a metric system of unit. Metric system का मतलब क्या होता है? जो 10 के powers में इसको हम convert कर सकते हैं. So conversion is always in the powers of 10. So that's why it is called metric system. Decimal है ना, 10 से divide करके तुमको छोटे numbers मिल जाएंगे, छोटे units मिल जाएंगे, 10 से multiply करके बड़े units मिल जाएंगे. तो ये सब जो है हम लोगों को इसीलिए 10 के मल्टीपल्स में है ये, इसीलिए इसको मेट्रिक सिस्टम बोलते हैं. Now we have FPS system. FPS system is foot, pound, and second. F stands for foot, P stands for pound, and S stands for second. Foot is the unit of length. Pound is the unit of weight, and second is the unit of time. So this system of unit, also known as British system of unit. It was introduced by Britishers. So it is also known as British system of unit and is based on foot, pound, and second as the fundamental unit of length, mass, and time. तो length को हम measure करते थे foot से, mass को measure करते हैं pound से, और time को measure करते हैं second से. And it is not a metric system. मतलब फुट को इंच में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए 10 के पावर्स हम लोग नहीं लेते हैं, फुट को इंच में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए 12 से मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं। तो यहाँ पे जो ये कन्वर्जन्स होते हैं उसमें बड़े ही अजीबो गरीब नंबर्स हम लोग यूज करते हैं, तो वो 10 के पावर्स नहीं होते, और इसीलिए अब धीरे धीरे फुट एफपीएस सिस्टम लोग यूज करना बंद कर। उसके बाद आते हैं एमकेएस सिस्टम पे। दिस सिस्टम वाज आल्सो सेटअप इन फ्रांस। इसको भी कहाँ पे सेटअप किया गया था? फ्रांस में। सीजीएस सिस्टम और एमकेएस सिस्टम दोनों फ्रांस में सेटअप किया गया था। इट मेक्स यूज ऑफ मीटर, किलोग्राम एंड सेकेंड। किसको किसको यूज करते हैं? मीटर को, किलोग्राम और सेकेंड को, एज द फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ मास, लेंथ एंड टाइम। The CGS and the MKS system are called metric system or decimal system because multiples and submultiples of basic units and are related to the practical units of powers of 10. So these are metric system. Why? Because if you have to convert it into a smaller unit or bigger unit, multiples of 10 are used. The drawback of CGS system is that many of the derived unit of this system are inconveniently small. क्या drawback है इसका? Drawback ये है कि बहुत ही छोटा है ये, ठीक है। derived units या फिर जो CGS system में हम लोग use करते हैं, these are inconveniently small. So CGS system का ये drawback है। FPS system is losing its popularity because of inconvenient multiples and submultiples involved in it for conversion. तो ये हम लोग अभी बात भी कर रहे थे कि FPS system में जो conversions होते हैं उसमें जो numbers use करते हैं, जैसे फुट को inches में convert करने के लिए 12 से multiply करते हैं. So these are not Yes, Betsy, I'll be sending the notes, beta. I sent it yesterday also. So every day's class, after every day's class, I'll be sending it, and I'll be uploading it in the Google Classroom also. So I think your dad has already registered there in that Google Classroom. So if you share your number and email ID, I can add you there in that and the WhatsApp group so that you get all these notes. Okay. So basically, you can note down my number. It is 9958116995. You can send me WhatsApp on this, and my email ID is sunitkumarsingh Sunit Kumar Singh at gmail.com. So you can send me an email, or you can call me, or you can send me a WhatsApp message here, and to communicate with me for anything. And also you can send me your email ID so that I can add you into the Google Classrooms. Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead. International System of Unit. So it is also known as SI system of units. So the system of unit which is at present internationally accepted for measurement in is the System International D units. French है ये. French International System of Units के लिए we use System International D units. Now abbreviated as SI. So SI with standard scheme of symbol, unit and abbreviation was developed and recommended by General Conference on Weights and Measures in 1971 for international usage in scientific, technical, industrial and commercial work. So the SI system of unit is based on the following 7 fundamental units and 2 supplementary units. So this is what we discussed. There are 7 fundamental units and 2 supplementary units. So what are these fundamental units? First is mass, length, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. So mass का fundamental unit is kilogram, length का fundamental unit is meter, for time it is second, temperature it is Kelvin, electric current it is ampere, luminous intensity it is candela, and amount of substance it is mole. The symbols which we use is kilogram के लिए kg, meter m, seconds के लिए s, Kelvin के लिए capital K, ampere capital A, CD is cadmium, candela, that is for luminous intensity, and amount of substance mole, MOL हम लोग use करते हैं. So these are the symbol which is being used. Supplementary physical quantities. So these are two, quantities which are supplementary units. These are also considered as fundamental, but you cannot derive anything out of it, and that's why we call it supplementary physical quantity. So plane angle and solid angle. So supplementary unit of plane angle is radian, and of solid angle it is steradian. Okay. So these are the supplementary physical quantities. These are supplementary units, and the symbol used is radian and steradian. Now, these are definitions of fundamental units, not very useful in terms of, in our NEET preparation. So, but yeah, it is given. So we'll just go through it. Meter, the standard meter is exactly equal to these many wavelengths in vacuum of the radiation from krypton isotope of mass 86. Similarly, kilogram is defined as mass of international prototype of kilogram is a standard block of platinum iridium alloy 3.9 centimeter in height. So this is the alloy material by which a block is being made, which is 3.9 centimeter in height and the diameter, and in diameter, this is the height and the diameter as well, preserved in the International Bureau of Weight and Measures at Sèvres near Paris. Similarly, second is defined as the duration of these many periods of radiation corresponding to unperturbed transition between two hyperfine levels. So these are definitions which are there, but yeah, there is rarely any question being asked on this. So you can just read it through, it's not very important. Similarly, this one as well. So let's see the plane angle. What is the plane angle? It is defined as the ratio of length of arc ds to radius r. So this is the length of arc, which is ds, from here to here, and the radius r. So the angle, plane angle d theta is equal to ds upon r, or ds will be equal to r times d theta. You can use any of these. You can remember any of this relation. Solid angle is basically, it is defined as ratio of intercepted area of the spherical surface described about the axis. So all this portion, this is an area. This area subtends a solid angle here. You can see this solid angle being subtended here, right? So you can also see a solid angle subtended when a cone is being, so the cone subtends this angle at the vertex, right? So this is called the solid angle here in case of cone. And here in case of this, you can find this solid angle here. The solid angle is defined as dA upon r square. So this is d omega. Omega represents the solid angle. This is equal to area divided by r square. Okay. So here length of the arc divided by r was plane angle, and the area dA divided by r square gives you the solid angle. Is it clear? Now, coherent system, to understand what system of unit, when a system of unit is called coherent. So a system of unit is said to be coherent if all the derived units can be obtained by multiplying or dividing its fundamental units such that no numerical factors are introduced. So coherent system कब बोलेंगे? जब कोई भी derived units इससे directly हम लोग multiply या divide करके हम लोग निकाल सकते हैं. मतलब कि you can multiply and divide these to get the derived units. Any numerical factor is not introduced. Without introducing any numerical factor, है ना, हम लोग इसको derive कर सकते हैं. Right? जैसे meter per second gives you the unit for velocity. So you have divided the unit meter by second, right? But कहीं ऐसा हो जाए m plus 3s is the unit. So here you have introduced the numerical factor. Okay, so then it will not be a coherent system when such kind of system of units is being used. Now, advantages of SI. First advantage is it is a rational system of unit. Rational system means it makes use of only one unit for one physical quantity. So there is no confusion there. So one unit for one physical quantity. That's why it is called a rational system of units. It is a coherent system of unit. Coherent means only you can multiply and divide and get the derived unit. You don't need to introduce any numerical factor. It is closely related to CGS, so it is easier to change over to CGS system from SI on or vice versa. SI is a metric system. It is a metric system of unit. You can multiply and divide by powers of 10 to get the smaller units. So it is a metric system of unit. SI unit applies to all branches of sine, whereas MKS system is confined to mechanics only. When I say MKS, see, in SI, we use meter, kilogram, and second. We use it inside SI. Apart from this, there are, in total 7 fundamental units. So out of these 3, there are 4 more, right? So that's why these 4 extra units have been put inside SI so that it covers all the branches of science. MKS system only covers because it measures mass, distance, okay, mass, distance, and time. So that means it will only be confined to mechanics. There is no temperature. So thermodynamics हम लोग define नहीं कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे, right? उसी तरह एम्पियर नहीं है तो करंट वगैरह हम लोग नहीं मेजर कर सकते हैं, है ना? कैंडेला नहीं है तो ल्यूमिनस इंटेंसिटी नहीं मेजर कर सकते हैं. तो ये सारे यूनिट्स को हम लोग नहीं मेजर कर सकते हैं. तो उसको सारे ब्रांचेस ऑफ साइंस में हम लोग एमकेएस को नहीं यूज कर सकते. बट एसआई सारे ब्रांचेस ऑफ साइंस में यूज होता है. So smaller and bigger units can be, decided, can be put in using these prefixes. So can be used using these prefixes. So let's say 10 to the power minus 1 is known as deci, minus 2 is centi, milli, micro, nano, pico, femto, and atto. So these are all different units. So decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, micrometer, nanometer, picometer, femtometer, and attometer. So these are all different, names, prefixes. And similarly, for bigger units, you find the prefixes used as deca, hecto, kilo, mega, giga, tera, peta, and exa. So these are all used for bigger units. So deca is 10 to the power 1. Hecto is 10 to the power 2, kilo is 10 to the power 3, mega is 10 to the power 6, and so on. So you can just remember these tables. Convention for writing of units and their symbols. So unit is never written with capital letters, capital initial letter. You don't write unit with capital initial letter, even if it is named after a scientist. मतलब फोर्स का यूनिट न्यूटन होता है, न्यूटन साइंटिस्ट के नाम पे है, फिर भी एन को हम लोगों ने स्मॉल लिख रखा है. फॉर अ यूनिट नेम्ड आफ्टर अ साइंटिस्ट द सिंबल इज अ कैपिटल लेटर. जब सिंबल लिखेंगे, है ना, जो एब्रिविएटेड फॉर्म लिखेंगे, देन वी राइट द कैपिटल लेटर्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, फॉर फोर्स वी राइट कैपिटल एन, न्यूटन, and for length you will have again small only, because ये meter is not the name of any scientist, so that's why we don't write a capital letter. The unit of symbols are never written in plural form. We never write meters. We don't say seconds. Okay, so unit is never written in plural form. Okay. Now, in a symbol, we prefer not to use more than one solidus. So solidus means, let's say, we know that acceleration is meter per second square, or this intensity is watt per meter square. So watt per meter square, we don't write watt as joules per second per meter square. We don't use these two division signs in one unit. So more than one solidus का मतलब ये जो line है इसको solidus कहते हैं. We don't use more than one solidus. Is it clear? Now measurement of length. So direct method involves comparison of distance or length to be measured with the chosen standard of length. So direct method क्या है कि हम लोगों ने स्केल लिया, स्केल से हमने जिस चीज को भी मेजर करना उसके पास हम लोग स्केल लेकर जाते हैं and then we can see, right? So direct method is directly measuring some quantity using an instrument. For example, if we take a scale and put it across and see what is the measurement, that is the direct method. And we can directly see. So direct method में the scale, meter scale which we are using, जो मीटर स्केल हम लोग यूज करते हैं उसका जो रेंज है कहां से कहां तक हम मेजर कर सकते हैं, from 10 to the power minus 3 meter to 10 to the power 2 meter. So we can measure using a meter scale for a small distance up to 10 to the power minus 3 meter, means 0.001 meter, means 1 mm से लेके 100 meter तक हम लोग measure कर सकते हैं. So this is the range which we can measure using a meter scale. If we have to measure a distance smaller than this, that is being done by a vernier caliper. So vernier caliper measures up to a distance of 10 to the power minus 4 meter. Then if we have to measure a distance which is still smaller than vernier calipers, that distance it can be measured using screw gauge, and it can measure up to a distance as less as 10 to the power minus 5 meter. 10 to the power minus 4 meter means 0.01 millimeter, and this means 0.01 millimeter. Okay. To measure length beyond these ranges, we make use of some special indirect methods. So direct methods are to measure these, if we have to measure these, distances, we use the direct method. And if we have to measure the lengths beyond these, मतलब 100 मीटर से ज्यादा या फिर 0.01 मिलीमीटर से छोटा, तो वहां पे हम लोग indirect method use करते हैं. We learn about these indirect methods as well. So this is a vernier caliper. So in vernier caliper, see, this is your main scale. Okay, and so these are main scale divisions which are there. This is vernier scale. Okay, so if you see one vernier scale, one vernier unit. Okay, so 9 scale divisions, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, this 10 vernier scale division is equal to 9 divisions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9. So one vernier, so 10 scale divisions here on vernier will be equal to 9 scale divisions here on the main scale. We can measure what is this used for, this vernier caliper. It is used to measure the external diameter of something or the external dimension. It can also measure the internal diameter of any cup or anything, right? It can also measure the depth using this. So depth of any liquid can be measured using this. External dimensions can be measured using this. Internal dimensions can be measured using this. So these are the three places where we use these vernier calipers. Then we have screw gauge. Screw gauge, there are two readings. One is, this reading is called main scale, and this reading is the circular scale. Okay, this reading, right? So first we measure the main scale, and then we measure the circular scale, and then we can get the exact value of measurement. So this we rotate it in this direction. When we rotate it, this screw moves in, towards the stud or away from the stud. So depending on what measurement we have to make, we can scroll this and move it in left and right directions. Now, indirect method for measurement of large distances. So the large distances are measured using indirect methods. So what indirect methods we use? One method is called parallax method. So what is parallax method? क्या होता है parallax method? कि अगर आप एक पेंसिल को अपने आईज के सामने रखें और उसके बाद इसको ऑब्जर्व करें, क्लोज वन ऑफ योर आई एंड वॉच इट विथ वन आई, एंड देन open that eye and close another eye, you switch the eyes. तो जब आप ऐसा करेंगे, एक आंख को बंद करके देखिए और फिर दूसरे आंख को बंद कीजिए और पहले से देखिएगा, तो आपको you will observe this pencil to be moving, है ना. बैकग्राउंड अगर पीछे, if you see this in the background of a wall, what you will observe is when you close one of your eye, you will observe that the pencil is moving sideways. So this particular phenomena is called parallax. Similarly, when you are going in a train, so when you see a far away object, you will observe that far away object is going along with you. मतलब दूर कहीं पे अगर एक पहाड़ वगैरह है, तो आप ट्रेन पे जाएंगे तो आपको लगेगा वो पहाड़ आपके साथ साथ चल रहा है, right? So you will observe that the distant object which is there, it may be a hill or mountain, you will observe that hill or mountain going along with you when you are traveling. So that is because, again, that is another way of defining parallax. Okay. So parallax is the name given to change in the position of the object with respect to the background when the object is seen from two different positions. तो ऐसा होता क्यों है, हम लोग पेंसिल को देखते हैं एक आई से और दूसरे आई से, तो ये मूव करता हुआ इसलिए दिखता है, because of the distance between our two eyes, there is a gap between the two eyes. So दो ऑब्जर्वेशन पॉइंट के बीच में जो गैप होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक आई यहाँ है, दूसरा आई यहाँ है, हम लोग इसको ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं, तो इन दोनों के बीच में, दोनों ऑब्जर्वेशन पॉइंट के बीच में जो ये डिस्टेंस है, इसको हम लोग बेसिस कहते हैं. So the distance between two positions is called the basis. The parallax method has been used for measuring distances of stars which are less than 100 light years away. Okay, to measure the distance d for far away planet s by parallax method. तो हम लोग ये parallax method use कहाँ पे करते हैं? पहले तो अगर हम लोग को इस स्टार को मेजर करना है, तो दो ऑब्जर्वेटरी पॉइंट है, ए और बी, दोनों से हमको मेजर करना है. तो पहले ए से ऑब्जर्व करते हैं और फिर बी से ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, और ये एंगल हम लोग का जो है, लेट्स से दिस एंगल इज थीटा, देन दिस डिस्टेंस डी, the distance d is given as b by theta. Okay, why? Because we know that for this, because d is, since d is very, very greater than b, right, the distance of the star is very large as compared to the distance between two observatories. Okay, so because d is very large, so this will almost be a circular arc. Because this is a circular arc, so we know that length of the arc is equal to, the length of the arc L is equal to r into theta. radius into theta. So D is considered as radius. So B will be equal to D into theta, or capital D is equal to B by theta. That is what is mentioned here. Is it clear? ये जो थीटा एंगल है इसको पैरेलैक्स एंगल कहते हैं या पैरेलैक्टिक एंगल कहते हैं. ठीक है, क्योंकि यहां से आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे तो कुछ एंगल थीटा 1 आप मेजर कर सकते हो कि कितने राइट में ये ऑब्जेक्ट है. उसी तरह यहां से ऑब्जर्व करोगे तो आपको ये एंगल निकल के आएगा थीटा 2. आप क्या करो, ये थीटा 1 एंड थीटा 2, इफ यू ऐड बोथ ऑफ दिस you will get the value theta here. Okay, so this theta 1 is equal to this angle and this theta 2 is equal to this angle. If you add both of this, you will get the value theta. Is it clear to everyone? Now the astronomical distances, see what we have done is we have measured the large distances of heavenly bodies using this parallax method, which is indirect method. We can also measure, okay, if we have to do more accurate a measurement, what we do is, let's say we have to measure the Earth's orbit, diameter of Earth's orbit, distance of a star if we are measuring. So what we do, we take the basis as diameter of the Earth's orbit. So when Earth is here, let's say sun is here and the Earth is rotating, revolving around the sun in a circular orbit. So from one of the observation point, we observe the nearby star here. From another observation point here, we again observe the nearby star. Let's say this whole angle is the parallax angle, right? So this parallax angle theta again can be measured as theta is equal to diameter of this, diameter of the Earth orbit. So diameter of the Earth orbit divided by capital D. So we know that length of the arc is equal to r into theta. Okay, so this will give you D is equal to, let's say this is capital D. So capital D into P, or capital D is equal to small d by small p. Is it clear? Now similarly, we can measure the size of the astronomical object using this method. So what we do from Earth, let's say we are observing the two endpoints of a moon, the diametrically opposite points of the moon. So this will be, let's say this is capital D, the diameter of the moon. We know the distance S, this is equal to S, the distance of moon from Earth. And now when we observe it by telescope, we measure that, we find that the angle between two different extreme points, is theta. Then we know that length of arc L is equal to R into theta, or D is equal to S into theta. So if we have to find the diameter D, so diameter D will be equal to S into theta after cross multiplying it and taking it on the left side. So D is equal to S theta हो जाता है ना. Diameter क्या हो जाता है, ये S into theta से diameter निकल जाता है. Okay, so angle theta can be measured from the same location on the Earth. It is the angle between the two directions when two diametrically opposite points of the planet are viewed through the telescope. Okay. Since S is known, हमें distance known है, S हमें पता है, तो हम diameter निकाल सकते हैं. So you can use these questions. Let's say the moon is observed from two diametrically opposite points A and B on Earth, right? Moon यहाँ पे है और हमारे पास एक Earth लेट्स से यहाँ पे है, इसके दो डायमेट्रिकली ऑपोजिट पॉइंट से हम मून को ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं, राइट? So between the two diametrically opposite points, we are observing the moon. So here, let's say we have Earth. The angle theta subtended at the moon by the two diametric direction of observation is 1 degree 54 minute. So the angle theta here is equal to 1 degree and 54 minutes. Given the diameter of the earth to be equal to the diameter of the earth here, d is equal to 1.276 into 10 to the power 7 meter. Calculate the distance of the moon from the earth. We have to calculate this distance. Let's say capital D, right? So we know that this length of the arc, means this D is equal to capital D into theta, और कैपिटल D इज इक्वल टू स्मॉल d बाय थीटा, है ना? हम लोगों को पता है भाई L इज इक्वल टू आर थीटा होता है. यहाँ रेडियस क्या है? रेडियस कैपिटल D है, और थीटा और ये लेंथ ऑफ आर्क है जो कि स्मॉल d है. सो अब हमें कैपिटल D निकालना है यहाँ पे, डिस्टेंस ऑफ मून फ्रॉम द अर्थ. सो अब ये देखो d जो है, दिस इज डायमीटर इज 1.276 into 10 to the power 7. This theta is basically in radians. So ये क्या है, यहाँ पे डिग्री में वैल्यू दिया हुआ 1 degree 54 minute. So theta is 1 degree 54 minutes. We convert it into degree, complete degree. So this will be 154 upon 60 degree. मिक्स फ्रैक्शन में कन्वर्ट कर लेंगे. मिनट्स को डिग्री में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए 60 से डिवाइड करते हैं, राइट? सो we are converting minute into degrees by dividing it by 60. जब भी किसी को कुछ समझना है प्लीज पूछ लेना. 6 9 times, 6 10 times. So this becomes 10 ones are 10 plus 9, 19 upon 10. 19 upon 10 रेडियन. ये हमारा रेडियन का वैल्यू होगा. So this is 19 divided by 10. So ये 10 यहाँ पे आके मल्टीप्लाई होगा. So 1.276 into 10 to the power 7 by 10, and radian is 19 by 10 radian. Sorry, 19 by 10 degrees tha. I'm sorry. So 19 by 10 degrees में convert किया हमने. इसको radian में convert करने के लिए last class what we did is to convert degree into radian. We multiply it by 180 by, sorry, pi by 180. So we multiply it by pi by 180. So if you multiply this 19 by 10 into pi by 180, right? D is many radians. You can put it here 19 into pi, और जो डिनोमिनेटर में वो यहाँ के मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा 10 into 180. So if you calculate this, you will get 1.276 into 10 into 180 divided by 19 pi. So this will be 38.4 into 10 to the power 7, or 3.84 into 10 to the power 8 meters. So this is the distance of moon from the earth. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Let's do this kind of question as well. So distance of the sun from the earth is 1.496 into 10 to the power 11. So ये जो r का वैल्यू दे रखा है 1.496 into 10 to the power 11. Now if the angular diameter of the sun is 2000 seconds, so angular dimension मतलब ये थीटा का जो वैल्यू है, this is 2000 seconds, right? अब आपको कह रहा है फाइंड द डायमीटर ऑफ द सन. हम लोगों को डायमीटर सन का निकालना है, डी निकालना है. तो ये लेंथ ऑफ आर्क बेसिकली निकालना है, राइट? सो डी इज इक्वल टू आर इंटू थीटा. सो डी इज इक्वल टू आर इज 1.496 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 11 और इसको थीटा से हम लोग मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं. थीटा क्या है? 2000 सेकेंड्स है. सेकेंड्स है, इसको हम लोग को रेडियन में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा. 2000 को अगर हम लोग 60 से डिवाइड करते हैं तो मिनट होता है, और 60 से डिवाइड करेंगे तो डिग्रीज हो जाएगा. डिग्री को फिर हम लोग पाई बाय 180 से मल्टीप्लाई कर लेते हैं तो हमें रेडियन मिल जाता है. सो दिस इज इक्वल टू so 1.496 into 2 into pi divided by 6 into 6 into 18. So this will be 1.45 into 10 to the power 9. Is it clear? I hope it is clear to both of you, okay? So now coming to some practical units which we'll be using. So the bigger units which we are using, astronomical unit. So it is the average distance of the center of sun from the center of earth. So one astronomical unit is 1.5 into 10 to the power 11 meter. Similarly, 1 light year, okay, 1 light year is 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 meter. So the distance which light travels in 1 year is called 1 light year. Similarly, 1 parsec is another unit, is the radius of the circle at the center of which an arc of circle 1 astronomical unit long subtends an angle of 1 second. So 1 parsec is 3.1 into 10 to the power 16 meters. So you have to remember these values. What is the value of 1 astronomical unit, 1 light year and 1 parsec? ठीक है, आप लोग को ये तीनों वैल्यूज याद होने चाहिए. वही सेम चीज है यहाँ पे भी. So इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस काफी आएंगे कि how many parsec are there in 1 light year. So you need to remember these kind of conversions so that you can convert it here. Now, accuracy, precision of instrument and errors in measurement. So what is accuracy is, so I'll not start this new topic. I'll in fact do few of these questions so that, because only 10 minutes are there, we'll not be able to complete it. So parsec or light year में conversion दिया हुआ है. So you can see 1 light year is, so 1 light year is 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 meter, and 1 parsec is 3.08 into 10 to the power 16, right? So the question here is, how many parsec are there in 1 light year? So if you see, 1 light year is 9.46 into 10 to the power 15. Okay. So number of parsec which are present in 1 light year, if we have to calculate, so what you will do, you will divide it by number of parsec is 9.46 into 10 to the power 15 divided by 3.08 into 10 to the power 16. Why? Because one parsec has these many meters inside. So number of parsecs, if we have to calculate, we'll divide it by, the meter value of one parsec. So if you solve this, you will get 9.46 divided by 3.08. So this is 3.07. So 0.307. Why? Because this goes up, it becomes 10 to the power minus 16 plus 15. This gets cancelled. Only 10 is here. So 0.307. So this is the number of parsec which is present in one light year. Okay? Is it clear? Clear hai bachcho? Now these kind of conversion are quite often asked. We'll discuss this as well. So we have to calculate the angle of 1 degree. We have to convert 1 degree into radian, 1 minute into radian, and 1 second into radian. So you can see to convert 1 degree into radian, we know that the conversion is equal to 1 into pi by 180 radians. So if you calculate this pi by 180, you will get 1.745 10 to the power minus 2 radians. Similarly, if you have to convert 1 minute into radians, first convert it into degrees. So 1 by 60 degrees, and then convert it into radian. 1 by 60 into pi by 180. So this is pi divided by so this is 2.9 into 10 to the power minus 4. Similarly, if you have to convert 1 second, to first convert it into degrees by 1 by 60 into 60 degrees. Once you have converted into degrees, then you multiply it by pi by 180. So this will be equal to 4.84 into 10 to the power minus 6. Is it clear? So we'll stop here. In the next class, what we'll do is we'll do the error part and rest other parts. Okay, and then after that we'll do the dimension part. So the unit part is complete today.